What is the non-critical job for nurse in Australia? Let's come and listen. Good morning, everyone. Nurse Jong in Australia again. What are we talking about? RN, registered nurse in Australia. Is that only way to work in the hospital? What about non-clinical nurse to work? What kind of job? Come and listen from Nurse Jong. I'm challenge you looking for the job, non-clinical bedside job in Australia. There are many more. Let's come and listen to Nurse Jong in Australia. What kind of non-clinical nurse job? Don't forget, listen until finish. Before that, don't forget subscribe Nurse Jong in Australia. There are many more that nurse doesn't need to work in the hospital. There will be a job, non-clinical nurse job. You can become an educator nurse. I used to talk about this in my previous video before. You can become what's it called, home visitor nurse. You can become like a nurse in the office. You can become like an information nurse. Too many jobs that you can work, not only in the hospital. Let's have a look at a few job nurse as a non-clinical job in Australia. What's a non-clinical job that registered nurse or nurse in Australia can be worked? Let's listen to Nurse Jong in Australia. I already mentioned this. Nurse doesn't need to work in the hospital only. Nurse can be a health program nurse. What's a health program nurse doing? Definitely this health program nurse, they have to develop all the healthcare program to make everything better. For example, now healthcare program can be planned and improve outcome to make our cost of healthcare not too high. So if you're a registered nurse, you can looking for the job and have some idea of health program nurse. So this kind of job is non-clinical nurse as well. Another job that not need to be in the hospital or in aged care, I can see is a paramedic nurse. You can see the nurse who are working in the ambulance, so they come and be the non-clinical bedside nurse job as well. They play a key role. They important. They will be deliver patient from the ambulance to the hospital. So this kind of job is non-clinical bedside job for the registered nurse to consider as well. Health visitor nurse, they work with the women or baby at home, so they will make sure that all the baby and the children under 5 years old, they gonna be what's gonna ensure to develop the baby and the kids gone to what the expectation. This kind of nurse like health visitor nurse to do job. All these names you can find out on the internet. What's the key role playing, what they have to be done. A lot of work that nurse as an RN can work non-clinical bedside. Another job that the RN as a nurse can work as a non-clinical. I see my friend, they do the home health nurse. What does that mean? The nurse going to the patient after they've been discharged from the hospital. The patient just have the operations and then a few days later they discharge home. So the home health nurse will go there to make sure everything in the long term, the patient will be okay. The patient can be handled life after the procedure. For example, the wound that they might have gone to the surgery. Other thing, for example, that medication, how is medication gonna be taking at home. So this kind of the job home health nurse will be doing at home. So this is a non-clinical job for the registered nurse to do at home as well. So too many jobs that the nurse can be worked not only in the hospital. Another one that this is important, I saw and I heard people come and do assessment the patient and all the insurance. They call nurse life care planner. What they're doing for long term, and then is dealing with all the lawyer and all the business with all the doctor that patient have to be covered by the cost of surgery or what they need in the medication. So this type of nurse life care planner is important job. So tie it up, nurse life care planner. How do you apply? How much do you get paid? This kind of job, non-clinical job as well. You don't need to be in the hospital. You don't need to be in the bedside. If you like to work in the school with the kids, school nurse, this is the other job that my friend been doing as well. So you have to go to work with the kids in different age in the where's that childhood in the school. There will be necessary job, a lot of tasks that including you have to educating students, you have to be help with the medication with the kid in the school and work cooperate with the doctor. School nurse is another job for the registered nurse to work non-clinical nurse in the hospital, from the hospital. This one, I talk about nurse educator before in my ward we have as well. You don't want to be on the bedside, you don't want to work shift work, night shift and things like that. Another choice, nurse educator. This work is, they just have a friend who have worked with or teaching, or you love to teach people, so you provide all the things to educate. The nurse provide the clinical knowledge to the student nurse, to the staff, and work outside to the patient, which is can give all the educate and oriented to the nursing age and new nurse, or you have to give some knowledge to the patient who need to discharge from the hospital. Nurse educator is another job that non-clinical nurse bedside job as well.